So I have a blog post on this. If you go to balancebites.com, priorities for eating paleo on a budget, something like that. If you just search paleo budget at balancebites.com, you'll get the blog post. This is also in Practical Paleo, so if you have the book, it's in there. I would prioritize fats. So I would spend my money on healthy fats. One of the reasons for that is that once fats incorporate into your cells, into the layer that makes up your cells, they're there for kind of a while. I don't know the exact timeline on when those things change out, but if you want to make sure you're getting healthy fats in, you don't want to be taking in oxidized, damaged, unhealthy fats. So I would prioritize there. I would buy something like KASANDRINOS extra virgin olive oil. I would buy my 10 Star Foods ghee, or you can just buy any kind of grass-fed butter at the store. If you can't afford the grass-fed, just get regular butter. That's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be as nutrient dense as the grass-fed butter, but it's still a better choice than vegetable oil. I would get rid of the junky oils first and foremost. So I would start with that, then I would go to protein, then I would go to vegetables and fruits. So that'll be your carbohydrates. And when it comes to organics, I wouldn't stress too much about buying things all organic. If you're on a budget, I would look at the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 13. This is again all outlined in that blog post, but you want to buy the Dirty Dozen organic whenever possible. Things like strawberries and blueberries, any kind of fruit that has a thin skin. Typically the sweet fruits with a thin skin tend to be at the top of the list because they're sprayed heavily with pesticides. So I would avoid those altogether if you can't get them organic, or I would only buy them in season. That's how you get the best price on produce, is buying it in season. You guys notice sometimes you see strawberries come into the grocery store, not in the summertime, and you're like, oh my gosh, strawberries, that's amazing. But they're, $5.99 for a pint, and that's because they're not in season. They're coming from somewhere else. They're traveling a long distance. The nutrition's not gonna be as great. They're not gonna taste as good anyway. So that's how I would prioritize. I would go in that order. And, kind of unfortunately, the fats are going to be some of the most expensive, but you don't have to use a ton. And, you can adjust your intake so that you're not taking in, a super high fat diet if you don't want to. That's where I would focus.